All right, sir, you're live.
Very good, thank you. Let's call the Public Works and Utilities Committee meeting for February 7th, 2022 to order. Could we have a roll call, please, Ms. Diaz?
Yes, Councilwoman Romero Worth,
I'm here.
Councilor Michael Garcia,
Present.
Councilwoman Chavez,
Here.
Councilor Lee Garcia,
Present.
and Chairman Rivera.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Next, approval of the agenda. Any changes from staff?
No changes from staff, Mr. Chair.
All right, I did hear from the mayor today that he would like to remove item C, a resolution establishing additional legislative funding priorities based on the potential availability of additional funding during the 2022 legislative session. This was after discussion with our lobbyist. So is anyone on from legal? I don't see anybody. All right, he didn't specify whether just to delete it completely. I think we should postpone it to a date uncertain just in case. Councilor Melworth, is that correct to do when on just approve of the agenda, or would we have to discuss it first? Should we just pull it?
I think we can just pull it and approve the agenda as amended. And
Okay.
if they want to reassign it, they'll do it later.
All right, so he is requesting to remove item C. Any other changes from the committee?
Quick
All right,
question
what-
on that, Mr. Chair. So does that mean we're not going to hear this on Wednesday?
Correct. It's my understanding that our lobbyist, Mark Duran, felt it would be too little, too late.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Sure.
Move to approve as amended.
Second.
Second.
A motion for approval is amended by Councilor Romero Worth, second by Councilor Michael Garcia. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please, Ms. Diaz.
Sorry, I was on mute. Councilwoman Romero Worth,
Yes.
Councilor Michael Garcia,
Yes.
Councilwoman Chavez,
Yes.
Councilor Lee Garcia,
Yes.
and Chairman Rivera.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. On to item 4, introduction of legislation. I believe Councilor Chavez was going to introduce this.
Yes, thank you, Chair Rivera. I will be introducing this on behalf of Councilor Cassette. Introduction of resolution supporting House Memorial 3 that requests the Workforce Solutions Department convene a task force to recommend legislation for paid family and medical leave. Like I said, it's introduced by Councilor Cassette and it is co-sponsored by Councilwoman Villarreal.
Thank you, Councilor Chavez. Next, approval of the consent agenda. Any changes from staff?
No changes, Mr. Chair.
Anything the committee would like to pull? Councilor Michael Garcia.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to pull item B as in boy.
B. Thank you. Anybody else? See no other hands up. What are the wishes of the committee?
Move to approve as amended.
Second.
Motion for approval is amended by Councilor Romero Worth, second by Councilor Chavez. Further discussion? Roll call vote, please, Ms. Diaz.
Councilwoman Romero Worth,
Yes.
Councilor Michael Garcia,
Yes.
Councilwoman Chavez,
Yes.
Councilor Lee Garcia,
Yes.
and Chairman Rivera.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. We're on to item 6, approval of the minutes from the January 24th, 2022 Public Works and Utilities Committee meeting. Any changes from staff?
No changes from staff, Mr. Chair.
Any changes or additions or deletions from the committee? Wishes of the committee?
Motion to approve. Lee Garcia.
Second.
We have a motion for approval by Councilor Lee Garcia, second by Councilor Michael Garcia. Further discussion? Roll call vote, please, Ms. Diaz.
Councilwoman Romero Worth,
Yes.
Councilor Michael Garcia,
Yes.
Councilwoman Chavez,
Yes.
Councilor Lee Garcia,
Yes.
and Chairman Rivera.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. We're on to the streetlight LED conversion project report. Ms. Wheeler.
Thank you so much, Chairman. Yes, we've submitted our biweekly report on the streetlight installation project, and Cheyenne Ernst from Delkia is here, and we're available for any questions that the committee has.
All right, so the report has been uploaded. Are there any questions from the committee?
I got a quick question, Mr. Chair.
Councilor Michael Garcia.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good evening, Director Wheeler. Quick question in regards to the PNM lights. I know that there's been some, I guess, confusion around replacing of the lights. PNM has given some feedback to constituents that the city is responsible for replacing the lights. And I thought we weren't responsible until the retrofitting happened. And I know that there's a couple lights that folks are waiting to get replaced. So if we can work with PNM to get the lights replaced, because correct me if I'm wrong, the PNM still has to change the lights out until we retrofit. Because I know that, there's a couple places throughout the city where they're out. In particular, I know, the Stretcher Road on Cerrillos, Baca Street to St. Francis, I think is out. There's a constituent who's submitted a request. The light behind her house is out. She feels it's a safety issue. So if we can work with our friends at PNM to get those replaced, that would be fantastic. But
Yes,
no
we
other
can
questions.
definitely. Thank you so much, Counselor.
Yeah, thank you so much, Director Wheeler. No other comments or questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councilor Garcia. Anybody else? I have one question for Ms. Ernst. In the report, it says that the drone footage would be posted on Friday. Was that complete? I didn't have a chance to look at it. Was that done?
Thank you, Chairman, for the question. Yes, the drone footage from our segment 3, which is more of the sort of southeast portion of town, is available on the project website, santafeled.com, in the design validation section. So if you visit the website now, you'll see 2 videos, the video from segment 1, which has been there for a while, and then the video from segment 3, which was posted on Friday.
Great, thank you. I will look at it after this meeting. Appreciate it. Any other questions from the committee? Okay, let's move on. Thank you, Ms. Wheeler.
Thank you.
We're on to our consent agenda, item B. Ms. Diaz, will you read that into the record, please?
A resolution adopting next steps for the redevelopment of the Midtown property, including applying for land use rezoning, general plan amendment, and a master plan adopting a community development plan, issuing requests for proposals, conducting site studies and assessments, and seeking the acquisition of land located within or adjacent to the Midtown site. Rich Brown.
All right, you were a little muffled there, so but I think everybody followed along. So, Councilor Garcia, Michael Garcia, you pulled this item.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Hey, Rich. Quick question, just because we've got the updated FIR, the full packet now, and I just got a quick question. I see that the 340 is that all for contracts out, Pyroteco, and then the land economics and urban planning? That's
Mr. Chair, Councilor Garcia, good evening to everyone. Yes, that is for those outside contractors.
okay. And then it says staff time will be included in our FY23 budgets, but I mean, shouldn't we anticipate what that's going to cost? That way we can at least have some ballpark in regards to with this resolution approval, what we're anticipating approving in the FY23 budget. So, in regards to staff time that we're going to be allocating towards this project.
Mr. Chair, Councilor Garcia, the staff time is already budgeted, and so it wouldn't be anything new until we've looked at the rezoning or any of the infrastructure and say, we're going to bring a temp on or bringing another person on. Everyone's been budgeted through our budgets. It's just I put FY23 just meant that if we're adding another person, then that would be included for the FIR. But these are budgeted staff time for internal teams, but the other numbers are for external teams.
Okay, so just let me make sure I'm understanding, because I think this has always been a confusing thing for me in regards to FIRs, in regards to how we're appropriating resources. And I've seen it both ways where if any staff time is used for a particular project, we're gonna include that in the FIR. I've seen it in this instance, I'll call it this version, scenario 2, where we've already budgeted for staff, and unless we bring on additional staff, there's no additional cost. So I just want to understand that we are using route 2, that because we've already approved the resources for these staff that are going to be working on this, and we're not bringing any additional staff right now, there's no additional costs. Am I understanding that correct, Mr. Brown?
Mr. Chair, Councilor Garcia, that's a good point. Yeah, earlier we had a different resolution we were passing through, and I put in about overtime. I do have a lot of staff who are not exempt at will, salaried employees, and so they come to these meetings and they're here sometimes 2-3 hours waiting for their agenda item. So that is an overtime incurred. I did not put that in there because at that time there was a debate that said do not put that in because that's a cost of doing business. So that's why there is no additional staff from this standpoint. The other or additional staff now would be if we bring a new person on, adding personnel to augment the team, that would be a new cost. And currently I don't have that as an item.
Okay, great. Thanks so much, Rich. I appreciate the clarification. With that, no other questions, Mr. Chair. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion for approval by Councilor Michael Garcia, second by Councilor Chavez. Any further discussion? Seeing none, can we have a roll call vote, please, Ms. Diaz?
Councilwoman Romero Worth,
Yes.
Councilor Michael Garcia,
Yes.
Councilwoman Chavez,
Yes.
Councilor Lee Garcia,
Yes.
and Chairman Rivera.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Ms. Diaz. We're on to item 9, no action items for discussion, no executive session. Matters from staff. Ms. Wheeler?
Thank you, Chairman. No matters from staff from Public Works, and Jesse Roach is here to represent Public Utilities tonight. I don't know if he has any matters from staff.
Thank you. Welcome, Mr. Roach. Anything?
Thank you, Chair Rivera. No matters from staff from Public Utilities.
Okay, matters from the committee? See none. Matters from the chair. I did want, I had talked, Jesse, if you can let Mr. Jones know, we had spoke briefly about a presentation from wastewater, and he said they were wanting to do one, but just not quite ready. So if you can pass it on, if maybe he can be available at the next meeting to do a presentation, that would be great.
I will do that.
Thank you. With that, our next meeting is Monday, February 21st, 2022. We are adjourned. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.